Good morning, Copers. Good morning. How are you guys? Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning. It is Thursday, March 5th. My hate speech warning on the Daily Cope channel that Ked's Dead gave me through his power chat has expired. So we're back in the green here in terms of strikes and warnings, finally. So that's good news 90 days later. How are you guys doing? Big show today. Big show. So many things to go through. Allison sent me like a bunch of black activities and vibrant migrant stuff, and I loaded it all up first because I was like, oh, I don't have much today. Then I added all of the stuff I did have, and I was like, ooh, there's like a ton here. So I don't even know if I'll get through it all. I don't really want to go more than like 3 hours, but there's probably like 4 hours worth. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, that was Paco de Lucia, I believe is how you pronounce his name. If you guys like that guitar, the flamenco guitar. Paco de Lucia. Before we get into the show, I have to tell you guys about the dream I had last night, okay? I had a very vivid dream last night, and I haven't had a dream so vivid in a while. And I think what it is I have gone back to reading before in bed instead of looking at my phone. Like last night was like night 4. It was my 4th night of go to bed and just read a book instead of looking at my phone. And I feel like very kind of lucid. I also, the other thing I've been doing is I listen to classical piano, Mozart classical piano. I saw that study on Twitter about how the sonata for 2 pianos like lowers your lipids or whatever whatever it is, like it lowers like your cortisol in rats or whatever. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna listen to this at nighttime, and I've been doing that, and I feel the only problem is I keep waking up around like 3:30 in the morning, and my brain is like racing, and then I have to fall back asleep. But anyway, it's other than that, it's been good. So I had this dream last night. I dreamt I was at home at my parents' house in Saskatchewan. I come upstairs in the morning and Allison's there and she's like, you got to look at this. Like, this is crazy. And there's this big like dossier on the table, like a big, like thick folder full of papers. And on the cover of it is like pictures of me.
Newt Sugar sent $3. I can't believe you banned me for your own biblical shortcomings. I can't imagine how you treat random people if this is how you treat your mods.
That can't be the real Newt Sugars. I'm not taking the bait. Not taking the bait. That was coming for a while. That guy was getting really belligerent and it annoys me. I crash out more on those kinds of ones because when people are like have been around for a long time, I give them more leeway. And like, I don't want to ban that guy. He's like always here, you know. So you put up with, and then it's like they want it. They just keep escalating a little more, more snark, more snark, more snark. And then eventually you're like mad at yourself that you didn't just nip it in the bud a long time ago. So anyway, enough about that. That's in the past. That's the old era. The Newt Sugars era of the Cope is over. I found the gay Jew. What? Legion Groiper found the gay Jew. Okay. Is this the new Newt Sugars account? Like this is, and then what people do is they make new accounts because they just can't quit you. George Floyd. Okay. All right. Who's George? I gotta not look at the chat. I gotta not look at the chat as a problem. Let me tell you guys about my dream. So it's this folder, and on the cover is like pictures of me, but when I was like 4 years old. So pictures of me as a 4-year-old. And it says my name on the cover, except it's not my name. It says like Thaddeus Hargraves, like Johnson the Third or something like that. I'm pretty sure the first name was Thaddeus.
Felt bad for you at the end of the stream. but the moral is don't mock people for or question their faith. Big love LP.
Thank you. And thank you, these bitches want Nikes, and thank you, the Nutter. Sorry that didn't play, but we'll have to, you win some, you lose some. And I'm not answering that either, but it's not. There's no way it's like north of 2 or 3. But who's counting?
Heads Dead sent $3 LP on behalf of Jessica V. You must tell us what a Coom Hovel is.
Oh, the Coom Hovel. So if you're a fake fan, if you're a fake Hypocrite fan, you won't know the Coom Hovel meme. Only real Hypocrite fans know that one. But a long time ago, I made a video where it was like just like a 8-10 minute video complaining about, excuse me, about YouTubers and their backdrops and how they put like Marvel statues and like Funko Pops and shit like that in their, behind them. And I was just complaining about how, like, again, it's the same reason I don't like graphic tees and stuff like that. It just comes across as this like people trying to like create an identity for themselves through like consumerism, through like identifying with a brand, So I made a video complaining about that. And some guy in the YouTube comments, he said, "What are you talking about? You live in a Coom hovel." Referring to like this little apartment, which we do have like art up on the
Wandering
walls,
Neanderthal sent $20 looking forward to the show today. Work is.
Thank you. I don't know if I can like you see, like we have like oil paintings up on the wall and shit like that. And I have like behind here, there's like a bunch of like framed photos of my family. There's another big, but you can't really. So that was the other thing people were saying is like, you don't have any decorations. Anyway, so I just said from here on out, this will be known as the Hypocrite Coom Hovel. So that's where that comes from. Okay, back to my dream. So here's what happened in the dream. In the dream, it comes to figure out that I had like, my mom had an affair, and my real dad, who was not the dad who raised me, but this other guy, died. He had just died, and I was like his only surviving heir. So he bequeathed me, my inheritance. And my real name was Thaddeus in the dream. That was like my real name that was on my birth certificate and stuff like that.
Area Lubermensch sent $3. Was I in your dream?
No, you weren't there. So, but actually the Copers were there. I'll get to that in a second, actually. So in the dream, my real name was Thaddeus something. And here's the crazy part. He was like black, or he was like a mulatto. So I dreamt my mom had an affair.
Sent $3, but I am your real dad.
Oh, well, there you go. Are you also mulatto? In the dream, my mom had an affair with like a mulatto guy who was my real dad. And so I was part black, even though I didn't look black. And he left me my inheritance, which was like multiple funeral homes that he owned in northern Saskatchewan.
The Nutter sent $3 6 times.
That's great. Thank you. You're one behind the, I was going to say when you sent that. Thank you, the Steed Man. Yeah, it was a good choice. Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio. Isn't there some scene where he brags about jerking off 7 times in one day? That's a lot. So my mulatto dad, who named me Thaddeus, died and like left me multiple northern Saskatchewan funeral parlors as my inheritance. And there was like some rings. There was like some weird rings on the table too, but they were kind of like janky looking. Like they weren't like impressive at all. They were, anyway, but that was like my inheritance. So then I was like, okay, I have to tell the Copers. So in the dream, I did an episode of the Daily Cope. I titled it "New Shit Has Come to Light." That was the title of the episode.
Maria Lubermensch sent $3, son. You are Jewish. The tan is your Levantine roots.
The tan, yeah. And then in the dream I'm doing the show and I'm like, you guys know I like to tell you the truth about everything, and so I'm just gonna like lay it all out on the table. like I'm black, basically. And that was it. That was the dream. But you know what else is crazy? I told Allison I had a weird dream, and she's like, oh my God, I had a weird dream 2 days ago too, and I meant to tell you, I forgot, blah, blah, blah. So like I tell her my dream, and she's like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then she tells me her dream, and her dream is that we had another kid, and the kid was like black. He was half black, but he was my kid. She's like, I know I didn't cheat with you on you or anything. Like, it was your kid. You impregnated me, but it came out black.
Nelly sent $3. Just saw your clip about my Armenian tweet. Banger. You are always welcome on the Holy Land.
Oh yeah, the Armenia social problems. Yeah. Thank you for the $3. So And then the black kid that we had was like really misbehaved and aggressive. He had like a lot of behavioral issues. This is Allison's dream now. And it made her like depressed. In her dream, she became depressed because she gave birth to a half black kid who was like very aggressive. So it's very funny, you know. It's like if I tweet about black people, I always get these replies that are like rent free, you know, like you just think about black people all the time. Like black people live rent free in your head. And like apparently, yeah, it's like my worst nightmare, apparently. Guilty, I guess. My worst nightmare is finding out that I'm part black or having a child who is part black. Anyway, let's get into the show. Starting with some, of course, war updates. Get used to the occasional war update here as we wade further and further into what is starting to look like an unmitigated disaster, an absolute quagmire. The window for Trump to get out of this and still be able to call it a success is basically closed as far as I can tell. I mean, if the war somehow ended tomorrow, probably he would be fine, but that's not going to happen. The Pentagon is saying they're estimating now that this is going to go to September. Okay, so that's what is that, 5 months or something? I don't know. I haven't done the math, but it's several months. They're also estimating that it's costing $1 billion a day, right? This is from The Spectator. The Pentagon estimates the war is costing $1 billion a day. Now, there's a bunch of mega influencers on the timeline today posting about polling and how Fox News polled some mega boomers who support Trump and support the war, and Trump's approval rating is good and everybody supports the war and all this. And it's like, I'm sure you could probably find people like that. And probably the Fox News audience, if I had to guess, probably skews in that direction. But the problem is that even those people by September are going to not be happy about paying $80 for a tank of gas, constant increases in the death toll, which is already over 1,000 if we're, including all the mostly Iranians, of course. But it's like, it's already well beyond Venezuela. So it's not looking good. This guy asked Grok how much it would cost to feed every single child 3 meals a day. And it's about 500 million a day. So half the cost of the war could feed every child in America 3 meals a day.
Wandering Neanderthal sent $10. Remember when the border wall was estimated at like 40 billion or something, and the excuse was that it would be too expensive?
Yeah,
Lol.
exactly. But you know, this is so much more important because Iran would nuke us. I guess. You know, this is like, what are you gonna do? You don't want to get nuked by Iran, do you? Marco Rubio has been really getting his feet held to the fire over his comments that we basically got dragged into the war by Israel, or that we didn't really have a choice as to when and how to start this because Israel was just going to do it, so we had to do it. And he's kind of like trying to backtrack here. He's like, well, let's just listen.
I want to just clarify what you said. I want to clarify what you said because you said
there's nothing to clarify.
But you said I would get that.
No, but you have to read. If you're going to read the whole statement.
But your quote is about we knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that would precipitate an attack.
Yeah, no, I understand. But listen,
forces.
all right, let me understand.
That's what.
Yeah, but I had a very specific question from that gentleman, right?
The president said. Well, the president said that.
Hold on 1 second. I asked
he may have forced Israelis.
Okay, but let me answer because this is my press conference.
Sure.
Okay. You asked me, I was asked a very specific question, so you guys can misrepresent it, but I was asked a very specific question yesterday. The bottom line is this. The president determined we were not going to get hit first. It's that simple, guys. We are not going to put Americans' troops in harm's way. If you tell the president of the United States that if we don't go first, we're going to have more people killed and more people injured, the president's going to go first. That's what he did. That's what the president will always do. He will.
Right, but what he said was the reason the Iranian attack was imminent was because Israel was going, and then the guy was trying to like read that statement back to him, and he wouldn't even let the journalist read it back to him. This one's even funnier. You told us Israel.
Soul Divider sent $5. I talked to a couple of boomers and reverted to it being a religious war. Also, we can't rule out a Cuba invasion soon.
America invading Cuba? I'm not, this is new to me. That's a new one to me. I haven't heard about that. You told us Israel is going to strike Iran, and that's why we need to get involved. And then Rubio says, no, were you there yesterday? And then the reporter says, yes, I asked the question.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked the question.
No, were you the one that? Because somebody asked me a question yesterday. Did we go in because
Boomer
of Israel?
Slayer
And I
sent
said,
$10. See you in the trenches LP and chat 07 Hail LP the Great White Cope.
So true. Hope you guys are training and staying fit so you can die. We're gonna get to a funny story about some guy talking to a boomer at the gym about how he has to get fit to go die for Israel, but we'll come back to that.
you were asking me that follow-up, and I said no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program, that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out. I was very clear in that answer. This was a question of timing, of why this had to happen as a joint operation, not the question of the intent. Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was...
They were playing us on the negotiations, and yet we made an offer to them, and then when they got together to discuss the offer, we killed them.
Was untenable, the decision was made to strike them. That's what I said yesterday, and you guys need to play it. And if you're going to play these statements, you need to play the
It's like, are we the baddies here?
whole statement, not clip it to reach a narrative that you wanted.
Book Track Grooves sent $10 on Rumble. LP is sponsored by my new music video Bunny album. Any news about South Africa? Any news about Oregon? Do you grow spices?
No, and no. But thank you for the $10. And I don't know what your Bunny album is either. Thank you for the $10, though. Okay, listen up, doomsters and panicans. By the midterms, America will not be involved in any wars in the Middle East. Iran will have a new government that is at a minimum not hostile to the USA and no longer funding Hezbollah and Hamas. And as a result of the lack of terror funding, the Gulf Arab states will finally be able to establish lasting, stable, peaceful relationships with Israel. At long last, we will have peace in the Middle East, and Trump will be hailed as a world-changing visionary.
Thank you Republicans for managing to snatching defeat from the jaws of victory yet again for the midterms, doing the one thing you weren't supposed to do. But beans, rice, and ammo.
I think he meant buy beans, rice, and ammo. Dude, I filled my gas tank yesterday. It was $66 for my Toyota Corolla. Usually it's like under 50. Usually like I bookmark these for the show and then I unbookmark them once but I'm leaving this one bookmarked. I have a bunch of these kinds of tweets that I'm leaving bookmarked so that after the midterms are over and then the Republicans do badly, I can quote tweet them all with that Yu-Gi-Oh card that says the raped. I'm another tweet for my the raped log. Just take a Xanax and calm down. Dude, anybody using the term panikins at this point is the ultimate cringe lord. Anybody who says panikin, that's you're not dealing with a full deck there. Or maybe just a grifter. Okay, our big story here of the day, this Marine Corps veteran who went to protest the war and was thrown out. I have one of the longest, this is like a 5-minute clip of the interaction here. I have not watched it yet. We get like the kind of more context on exactly what happened.
I officially closed on my house yesterday, officially a homeowner. Who says I hypocrite viewers are loser incels.
So true. Thank you, Ked's Dead. By the way, I mentioned you at the start of the show. My hate speech warning finally expired today, so I'm back in the green, back in the clear. You probably saw the video clip of this guy. He some senator gets involved and he like breaks his arm. I forget the guy's name, the senator or the congressman, but we'll cover that soon. Oh yeah, it's right here. Sheehy. Marine Corps veteran attacked by Senator Sheehy.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
You can ban people who spam in the chat, by the way. If people want to construct end towers the proper way, meaning one letter per person, I don't really care. But anybody who just is like spamming 6 or 7 messages in a row, you can just ban them. Just on principle of spamming.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your ineptness as leaders. This is wrong. No. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
Based.
A reminder to all our Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
Okay, here's where he breaks his arm. Wait, here's the senator getting in there to help.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
So his like arm snapped there.
Senator broke his hand! The senator broke his hand!
Help him, please!
Help him!
He's a Marine! Somebody come help him!
Control your Senate committee!
Look at you guys! You're robots! You won't even look back! Look at you guys! You're like robots! Oh my God, what is happening? And you're not even looking back! Any of you 4-star generals! Oh my God, what is happening right now?
This was handled very poorly. You know, typically when a guy like that gets up and yells, like the Chad way for a leader to handle that is to actually like just engage with the guy and talk to him. I understand it's annoying when people like heckle and they disrupt your event. But you've seen similar videos like this where some guy comes to do this. They're like, yeah, and then the person up on stage or whatever, they're like, hey, let's talk, and they have a little back and forth. And if
Heads Dead sent $5. So needless to say, I got wasted last night and now I'm day drinking to cure the hangover. So I may be chatty, but I WLL paid handsomely.
Good Lord. How many times have we banned Ked's Dead and unbanned him over the... I can already tell when another one's incoming. Like, he knows too. He's prepping. He's what do they call that? What do they call that in the PSYOP conspiracy people? Predictive programming. Okay. So you talk to the guy, and then if you can just be rational and they're all frantic and like schizo, then you just kind of win. And then you just kind of like, okay. And usually, like, when you let people say their piece too, a lot of times if you just give somebody like that 2 minutes to say what they want to say, they'll just like calm down and go away at that point. Not necessarily, but sometimes anyways. But it's in this case, it's like they just immediately went full force physical removal. And then the guy resisted, which then made it, and then they broke his arm, and now it's like, wow, maybe that should have been handled differently.
Now, I front robots. Shame. Oh my God, you guys. What did I just see? I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Oh my God, what is that?
Okay, good. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
I'm all for publicly standing up to Israel. The problem is the PPL doing this are always America-hating leftists who don't care about whites. Yeah, no?
I do know, and we're going to get to that. Yeah, spoiler alert, this guy is like an absolutely insane, mentally ill, leftoid, brown-loving, Palestine-loving, the only way. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Oh my God, you guys.
Sorry, does that hurt? Can you open it up a little bit just to like change the gap?
Hold on, I gotta get my dog in. He keeps barking. No. Hey, get in now.
Hey guys, clear the hallways. Out. Clear the hallways. Out. Clear the hallways, please. Clear the hallways, please.
Can you help him, please?
Yes, yes. Tell the places going there. Please through the hallways.
Oh my God, what happened? His hand got totally smashed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why are you getting arrested?
From the halls of Montezuma to the doors of Tripoli, Palestine will be free.
And what about this war in Iran?
Oh my God.
His arm.
Okay. Ah, fuck, my arm is fucking broke. What are you gonna do to him? My left arm is broke. I understand. Don't fight.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys, come on.
I need you to move. You need to stop. Okay.
Brian, stop.
Look at these Zog bots. Look at these Zog bots. The guy's got a broken arm and he's like, free Palestine, and they like smash his face into the wall.
They broke his arm. Oh my God. It's totally broken.
Oh man.
Please, can you get him some kind of medical attention?
Yes, we are.
Oh my God.
You are? It's great.
Just let go of my arm before you sit down.
I'll step back, please. Please move
Can we
back.
get
Keep
him
this
some
walkway
medical
open.
attention?
Who needs her?
No, he broke his arm.
Okay. Would y'all just move aside then? That way people can still exit.
Josie, what happened?
We just witnessed a Marine veteran interrupting the hearing and they broke his arm.
Why did he interfere?
Because there is a war in Iran, and our military brothers.
So this woman filming, is she wearing a hijab, or there was some other woman in a hijab?
The
Maybe that
nutter
was
sent
his
$3.
wife.
I feel like all this could have been avoided if the Marine would have just busted a few nuts before acting.
Probably true.
Ariel Ubermensch sent $3. The only people with it to send up to Israel are apparently anti-white leftists. Why we're another way? Be the change you want to see in the world.
What was the word? Hold on. Let me check Power Chat. What word got censored there? Wish it were another way. Why would that get shit? So he put wish space it, and I think it's somehow thought that was he was saying shit. Jeez, man. The stuff you got to do to comply with social media. Okay, anyway, yeah, I know.
Brothers and sisters are going to die for
The whole situation is clown world.
Israel, and we are here to say no. We do not support Israel. We do not want to die for Israel. Stop the war in Iran right now.
And what did
Based soy.
they do to him?
They pulled him out, got his arm trapped in a door, broke his arm, tackled him to the ground. It was a very, very intense situation.
Okay, I don't know why we need another minute of this.
No, he's actually running for Senate in North Carolina. His name is Brian.
The woman filming obviously is like in on it. She probably went there with the guy. She might even be his wife.
And McGinnis.
So she's kind of doing this thing like he's a Marine, but like.
Do you refer? No, I don't.
So whoever's talking to her said, "Do you work for him?" And then the woman said, "No, I don't." He's running for Senate. Okay, the Marine who did this, he's running for Senate.
And they all just kept their eyes forward, those cowards.
Free Palestine. God. Why not just hail Hitler, dude? Why not? Something.
Free Palestine. Fuck the war in Iran. You're free to record, but we don't. You're free to record. America does not want to fight. You guys are free to record all you want.
This is white people, man. White people are so mind fucked. Okay, so here's from the thumbnail. Somebody tweeted this. No one wants to fight for Israel. This is from the
Israel is the reason for this war.
Dad sent $3. Would you ever bring Professor Jang on the progress report?
Who? Is that guy Sneeko was talking to? I don't even know who that is. Sounds Asian. Hello, friends.
Wandering Neanderthal sent $10. Being a Marine myself, I'm pretty disgusted by him using his uniform like a superhero costume for this campaign stunt. Took that broken arm like a G, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The thing is like, I support this kind of protest. I support people yelling at politicians that no one wants to die for Israel. And doing it as a Marine gives you a certain sort of credibility. You got a guy who fought for his country, gives him a certain cachet. So I don't really actually have a problem with that. I just wish he wasn't brainwashed into brown worshiping oblivion. Like, this whole thing is like, he's clearly an extremely mentally ill man. And you see that in the pictures we're going to get to in a second. But before we get to that, there was like a paid campaign that went out of people tweeting about this. So we have Eric Doherty. Holy crap. Senator Tim Sheehy, r/MT, took matters into his own hands and personally helped Capitol Police eject a protester who was railing against Trump's Iran strikes. He plays no games. Fire emoji. Navy vet. Holy crap. U.S. Senator and Navy SEAL Tim Sheehy just personally is always in all caps too, and so is holy crap. Personally jumped in and helped Capitol Police take down a belligerent man aggressively interrupting a Senate hearing. And then same thing here from Nick Sortor. Holy crap. Ugh, where's my... I banned my kick mod. Ugh, where's my... I banned my kick mod. And then when you kick always like unpauses itself when you go to the tab, which is I find really annoying. And I like muted it and paused it, and then if I like click over to the tab, it like it's just like, oh, you want to unmute and unpause? No, actually. Anyway, Cat Respecter, you're supposed to ban those people. It's funny. That guy thinks they're gonna like get me a YouTube strike by doing that, but you actually have to do it through Power Chat. That's the trick. And it will cost you at least $3 per attempt. Okay. What was I saying? Anyway, so these people have all been paid to tweet about this, and the senator, obviously probably paid by somebody on this Senator Sheehy's, payroll to make a big deal out of this guy, like heroically helping break this dude's hand. Okay, now here's the guy. Okay, U.S. Marine Corps veteran Brian McGinnis says he suffers from mental illness due to the Gaza genocide.
$3 LP. What did you think of the first episode of Outlaws with Blonde? Glad it wasn't just a Fuentesburg fest.
I only listened to about 20-30 minutes and...
Wandering Neanderthal sent $10. The protest isn't the problem, just that Hess a Green Party brown worshipping freak. What I meant is Hess using his veteran status to boost clout and abusing his uniform. It's gay when veterans do that.
Well, it's definitely gay when brown worshipping ones do it. I agree with that part. Anyway, it felt like watching an episode of Devin's normal show, but Blonde was just there to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. But I mean, it was their first episode and they're still figuring it out.
Ever sent $3, mod me on Kickstarter.
And honestly, just that is still good. Like Devin's show is good, and then just adding Blonde to it is like, why not? How does like that just makes it better? So yeah, I thought it was good. I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be very successful podcast. So good for them. Full support, SAR. All right, here's the guy.
I'm going through mental trauma. I'm not trying to broadcast this for sympathy. I know there's plenty of other people. I would rather keep this to myself and just try to move forward. I do wear my feelings on my shoulders or a heart on my sleeve. But since I know many other people are probably struggling with mental trauma from whatever reason, and me specifically from the Gaza genocide and my military experience and participating in atrocities at the bidding of the American government and the American military, and now coming to terms with now all the noise stopping and slowing down, and my having children and seeing and now remembering what I've done, it just haunts me. And so I'm just here trying to help for educational purpose anybody else who might have this problem. For years and years, I just thought PTSD was an enigmatic problem. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know if I had it or not. They said people who were veterans would have it, and I was like, I don't know if I have it. What is it? I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think I'm depressed. Am I depressed? And through lots of self-searching and therapy and trying to deal with and figure out what my life is, bad marital relationship, bad relationships past that, just my own personal issues. I think everybody has their own issues. I've come to terms and understand, and the genocide has really brought it home, because when the genocide started on October 7th,
sounds like he's on meth or something.
I knew Palestine was the victim all along, and that Israel was the lying, deceitful perpetrator of of false flag events to continue legitimizing, justifying their horrible track record of military occupation and torture of the Palestinians, and deliberately trying to fool the American public so they can keep their funding coming from America and milk us dry.
Although everything he's saying is true, but I'm just saying the way he's talking, it's reminiscent of that guy who is like, I could do any kind of math equation, 12 by 12, 497,097. But everything he's saying is actually true. So the way he's saying it is a bit sketchy. Anyway, there's like another 5 minutes of that. I think we get the idea. And then here's another like video. This is where it gets really crazy for me, is when you start putting on the kiffah and shit like that. That's when you know you drank the Kool-Aid.
Hey, if you think the Free Palestine movement promotes hate, you're wrong. Please take it from me, an American veteran, Brian McGinnis. It's not. I am genuinely speaking up for Palestine because the Palestinians have been oppressed militarily for 77 years. And it is wrong. That's the true direction of hate here, is that the state of Israel is hating the Palestinians and is killing them and brutally terrorizing them for years and years and years. And now they're turning around and acting as if they're the victims and they're the ones that are experiencing hate. Just know that the Kafia and the Free Palestine movement are not a hateful group. We are standing up for justice.
Yeah, exactly. Leadhound, just stand up for what, that's the thing. White people are getting, and white Americans are getting completely fucked over by Israel. And that's all the reason you need. The problem is white people are so brainwashed and self-loathing that they can only stick up for their own interests by using like brown people as a proxy. And it's really pathetic. It's really, really sad. And somebody said, like, imagine this is
As Dead sent $3. You think this vid is on disability a la Caleb Hammer? Low.
I mean, probably. He said he's got PTSD, so probably. Somebody said, imagine that's your dad. Well, imagine this is your mom. So here's his family. Like, I gotta be real with you, man. There's almost like when I see a picture like this, it's almost like looking at like a guy who's trooned out. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of the same kind of. It's like it's leftist mental illness. You know, this guy's life is probably better than the average troon. He has 4 kids. He has a big family, so it's, you know, he's got that going for him. But just like his whole identity is like a leftist delusion that's like mentally ill, schizophrenic, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, this guy has lost the plot. He's detached from reality. He doesn't know who he is. Sneeko was disgusted after Asmongold said the veteran who got his arm broken for protesting the war in Iran deserved it. Apparently, I haven't really been following Asmongold super closely, but I've seen some chatter that he's been like very supportive of the war, and a lot of people are disappointed because they thought Asmongold was like super based chud. They thought Asmongold was like Asmon Hitler, and they're learning that he's actually just like, you know, a typical here. I haven't watched this clip yet, but here's my take on Asmongold. I don't know why you would be surprised by that. Yeah, Asmongold. There you go.
Sorry, I will stop interrupting the show now. But just wanted to say that I was right, and the 12-year-old those teens ran a train on was black.
Oh my God.
Not crazy considering the location of where it happened.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but just for the record, when you send power chats, it's not considered an interruption by me. Other people don't.
Looks like a planned social engineering skit. Agreeing with commies for the wrong reasons.
I mean, that's a little bit schizo for my liking, but it does look, I mean, the guy wearing, I know what you mean, because a guy like he's married to a Muslim, he's wearing like a Palestinian flag and he's wearing the scarf and all that. It's
Peter
like
sent $3 to Marine. Looks like the Rock. He looks like the white Obama.
what?
Peter sent $3 to Marine. Looks like the Rock. He looks like the white Obama.
Thank you, PETA. It does feel like a parody or satire when you see a white guy. You know what I mean? It's like a white guy wearing like a dashiki or whatever, doing like the Black Power fist. Or it's like, what are you doing? So I know what you mean, but I don't think it's actually. I think there's just people like this. Anyway, Asmongold is like he's like the chud version of Moist Critical. These guys just sort of read the room and then pander to the chuds or the Redditors, depending which one. But they don't really know what they're talking about. They haven't thought deeply about this stuff. None of these guys have any idea about, the depth of the JQ and what's really going on in the world. So you don't be surprised when somebody like that disappoints you, because they're kind of just like doing this and feeling which way the wind is blowing and then giving their takes. And so you get these kind of, the default for somebody like Asmongold is like patriot and pro-America. And so he's going to support the war because it's like, yeah, I'm a chud, America, fuck yeah, or whatever. It's definitely not what the people on poll want to hear. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say about this. I haven't actually listened to this yet.
Comfortably and make millions of dollars, bro. So you're siding with the government getting our people to die in these wars, rather than a man who has risked his life probably for a long time for this country.
Yep.
Deserved for what? Deserved for what? Saying he doesn't want to fight this war and that it's for Israel?
That's what you get.
Broke the head of a Marine.
See that again? See like that?
Trump sent $3. Protesting may be useless. Policy is created by think tanks, and these decisions are above the president. That's why the wars don't stop regardless of Democrat or Republican. This is not blackpilling, just understanding.
The Nutter sent $3 7 times 6 7.
Yeah, I mean everything's useless though, and then people say it's not blackpilling, but you're not voting that your way out of this. But I'm not blackpilling. I'm just being real. I mean, okay. Anyway, again, so pandering to the chuds, you do this kind of callous fuck around and find out thing that is usually correct. This is what I mean. So when people don't really have the understanding to have the nuance, he'll look at this the same way he looked at Alex Preddy getting shot and just be like, fuck around and find out. But it's like I said, it's like, this is some kind of like city council meeting or whatever he was protesting at, some kind of like hearing.
Cat Respector sent $5.
Thank you, Cat Respector. And he's there like directly addressing the elected officials. Is he doing it in the by the book way, or is he like heckling them? No, but it's like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but politicians can handle this in a way that is way better than like, let's break his arm. You know what I mean? Like, actually, you do work for us. You know what I mean? So I get it's annoying when people are yelling and they're disrupting and that, but also the guy has a grievance. And if you really believe in the war, you should be able to have like a little 2-minute back and forth with him about it before you.
Ortho Chud Maxer sent $3. Did someone say it's time to go mag dump chow heads in the Middle East again? Where do I sign up?
Dude, that's so Ortho Chud Max. I almost was going to make a joke and then I didn't even think about it, but I was going to be like this, because he's, the Lebanese woman. I was going to say, so this guy who went by the online alias, the Orthodoxer, I forgot about that, but you reminded me. Get it? Because he likes to date Palestinian women, get it? He likes to date brown Lebanese women, get it? So the thing is like when you give the person, again, not to repeat myself too much, but if you're in that situation and you say, hey, like, okay, let's talk about it. So you don't like the war, but what is your plan to like stop Iran from arming terror? You know what I mean? If the guy doesn't like immediately calm down and actually like try to engage with the argument, and he just keeps yelling like no dying for his, or then you can throw him out, and nobody is gonna think less of you because it's like you gave the guy a chance to engage rationally. The problem is if you don't give the person a chance, you just look like a kind of a thug who can't. You look not only like a thug, but like you look like you're scared of what the person is saying.
If you are pro-white and not on 88 streams, you are probably gay.
I mean, you said it, man. We were all thinking it, but you said it.
These people are absolutely and completely addicted to optics. All they care about is how they're seen.
No, he cares about his life, and he cares about the lives of his fellow troops. He cares about the fellow Americans that are going to go to a war under a false pretense. He cares about truth. This is what being American is all about, Asmongold. It's not siding with the tyrannical government, getting people to die for a lie. It's the people standing up against tyranny.
That's it. Shouldn't have put yourself in that situation.
Dude, you're trying to.
I miss it.
He's trying to put him in a situation where he's dying in Tehran.
What do you do? He's acting like a retard.
Hand of a Marine, you're a coward.
Is there not leading and defying orders? Exactly. Yep.
Dude, Asmongold, do you know how this country started? They were defying orders by dumping the tea in the ocean. When the Brits said that we need to be taxed on the tea, they tar and feathered the messengers and dumped they flipped over the boats. Look at this. Come on. The smugness here is insane.
So the senator helped drag this piece of shit out?
The senator? Almost, I don't think he said sinner, which is like a funny sort of Freudian slip for senator.
Oh, God.
Dude, calling a veteran a piece of shit, bro. It's like you put your life on the line for this country, or so you think. And look at the way...
Yeah, this is the problem when you chud max too hard and you don't have the nuance. See, I get it. Again, I really don't like people trespassing. I don't like people being told to leave and not leaving. But again, this is sort of in a context where it's a little bit more understandable because it is a hearing where you're directly confronting like your elected representatives. You know, he's not spurting out in a McDonald's because they didn't give him free French fries and then refusing to leave when the cops are like, you have to go.
You get treated.
Alert. Oh, is it?
Everybody sit down, please.
Let me see. I'll pull it up.
Oh, my God.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Damn, bro. You broke your arm all for nothing, and now you're going to catch a charge. That's sad.
Bro, you want him to get him to die for nothing. He's gonna
fucked up your whole...
My prediction, bro, he's going to apologize for this statement. He's going to apologize for this statement. I remember when he said the Palestinians are subhuman, and then, you know, he got banned on Twitch for 2 weeks and then apologized. This was another one of those situations. Overall, I think he's well-intentioned.
Soul Divider sent $3 not to defend commies, but last time I checked, the Chinese run an ethnic communism that seems to be really helping their fellow ethnic people. People can hate China all they want, but they care about their ethnic people.
Impossible to argue with that. They are a nation. China is a nation in the true sense of the term. And people don't like to talk about it a lot, but it's like you look at all these charts, like electricity consumption in China or whatever it is. Well, like they're improving in a lot of metrics that we are not improving in. They are having fertility issues like everywhere else though, so who knows? Maybe the human race is just going extinct.
This is extremely incorrect. This is an indefensible take. I honestly think it's disgusting saying that, bro. Disgusting. To be real with you. Yeah. I give it a day before he apologizes.
Ortho Chud Maxer sent $3 LP. I know you're a grow hyper general and can't break ranks, but Sneeko was a brown clown.
Okay. I mean, that was definitely a bit pearl clutchy at the end there, like, disgusting. This is disgusting. It was really just sort of like somebody else said, it was just kind of like chud maxing from a guy who just doesn't really, is just not really that much of a, he doesn't really know politics or what he's talking about, basically. But now Sneeko is trying to get Asmongold to debate him, so we'll see if Asmongold agrees to that or not. Anyway, you guys are probably thinking, you know, the real question, speaking of throwing tea off the boats, the real question, what would George Washington do? Would George Washington approve of fighting Israeli wars to stop Iranians from funding Hezbollah or whatever the reason is today? Well, good news. You don't have to think, because Glenn Beck asked George Washington through the magic of artificial intelligence. Glenn Beck, being a very balanced and moderate guy who doesn't work for Israel or worship Jews or anything, you never know which way he's going to go on an issue like this.
George, we are trying to not fight foreign wars and not be involved in the world's policemen, but there are times that we have to demonstrate strength in order to prevent conflict. But I don't know where the foreign entanglement begins and where it ends.
When I was president, I did not crave power. I didn't strut in my uniform dreaming of conquest. In fact, I begged several times to not be the...
There is no way a single living person is watching this and being like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Right? The Goys can't be that far gone, right? The Goyim can't be that off the cob that they're actually watching this and being like, hell yeah, George.
General and not be the president. I didn't want it, but I understood my responsibility. And I also understood that some things that are easy to forget when you're staring down bayonets. Peace is not the default. It has to be guarded when you're deliberately, staring down bayonets. With foresight, and peace is not the default. It has to be guarded when you're deliberately down with foresight.
Schizoprophet sent $3. Trust me, guys. It's just George I. Electricity is completely secular. This definitely isn't an act of necromancy. It's just George I. Electricity is completely secular. This definitely isn't an act of necromancy. It's just George I. Electricity is completely secular.
T-Live somehow. I gotta stop having these tabs. Sorry about that, everybody. I gotta stop having all these tabs open because I have them on the stream and then I just pause the stream and then it just like randomly unpause themselves for no reason. Okay.
LP, have you heard the Jewish remix to Sweet Home Alabama?
So, like, you're talking about the Mike Huckabee Sweet Home Jerusalem or whatever concert. If that's what you're talking about, I have seen that. Whatever that other power chat was, or whatever that was. Sorry, where was it on Rumble? Where was that? I missed it. Whatever it was. Sorry, I got to get back to George Washington here. This is like the founder, you guys. You're hearing directly from the founder.
Strength. My generation lived through a fragile independence.
He looks a lot like Bill Maher, by the way.
Our new republic was surrounded, literally and figuratively, by instability. Most of the founders
sent $10 on Rumble. This constant reference to the tea dump and the Moo founding fathers without the historical context is frustrating. We are far from that history of the past. By the way, Bunny album on my Rumble.
Check out Bunny album, you guys, on Book Track Grooves. Thank you for the $10. And thank you, everybody, for big support today. Lots of super chats. Appreciate it.
founders believed that we would not survive.
Nick does an AI chat with Hitler where Hitler was like, I would nuke Israel or whatever.
To 1820. We thought it was an interesting experiment. European powers were sniffing the opportunities, states were threatening to splinter, loyalists were lurking. None of this was hypothetical. It was the daily background noise of early America.
So how did you protect that freedom?
Well, you said it. Through strength.
Was that really in Metal Gear Solid 2, George Washington AI?
Weakness didn't just invite disagreement, it invited disunion. And I had already seen what happens to authority when it is too diluted. The Continental Congress couldn't pay the troops, they couldn't enforce unity or act decisively.
Electricity not being secular, I consider this kind of stuff necromancy.
That kind of vacuum doesn't stay empty. Either chaos.
YG sent $3 giving my 2 cents about electricity not being secular because nothing is, and that I consider this kind of stuff necromancy. George I. It's evil.
I mean, you know, Glenn Beck is like a Zionist and Zionism is evil, so I'm not going to argue. And I do think, you know, I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole AI is demonic thing. I'm not totally dismissive of that, but this is mostly just cringe. This is like just an utterly pathetic cringe propaganda attempt. Really weird. I genuinely, is there anybody who is like, wow, this is awesome? You know, I don't think we need to even watch the rest, to be honest. There's like another minute and 20 seconds. Curious to know what our founders would say about tariffs, immigration, or other issues. I remember in his farewell address, Washington
Wandering Neanderthal sent $5. It isn't even a good facsimile of how Washington spoke. Very low effort on Beck's part.
Would you be, I mean, okay, I don't know. I remember in his farewell address, Washington specifically address, we should have an aggressive interventionist foreign policy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's sarcasm because he said like the exact opposite. Glenn, the fat Zionist boomer Beck justifies war with Iran by deep-faking George Washington with AI. People like this should rot in hell for eternity. Well, good news. Goyslop maxing. The Goyim are off the cob. Please tell me the Goyim do not find this impressive or compelling or convincing. Alex Stein says the Daily Wire is the most pathetic media company I've ever dealt with.
I just had the absolute worst trip in Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, I guess I've had worse trips than this one, but it was bad. I'll get into it later. I don't know if I got to post all the receipts and I got to call out the Daily Wire, but I think I have to. I don't want to because I love Ben Shapiro and I love Israel so much, so I don't really want to have to flame the Daily Wire, but just a horrible experience working with these people. Just horrible. Just wait till you hear the story. I don't even know if I should tell the story. These people are just, I mean, white trash. You know, you would think that they'd have some class.
Nashville, I was banned from even going to the event because Dan Crenshaw was too scared of me. Did she really get fired? I saw a tweet that said he was thinking about doing it. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem out. Oh, dust allergies are Get worse or something. I don't know. Okay. Maybe it's just seasonal allergies. So this is to Alex Stein. My name is Michaela May. I'm a producer for Michael Knowles. I'm reaching out to gauge your interest in coming to Michael Knowles' bar fight, a panel-style debate show filmed in a bar in downtown Nashville. Hey, thanks for being so flexible in this fluid situation. I have good news and bad news. Good news is we are all set with the audience, White Russian, and production for your yes or no episode with Knowles. Bad news is Crenshaw's team is insisting you not be in attendance for fear of disrupting the event. Are you serious? I can't even go to the event now. I'm not going to disrupt it. I'm just going to ask a question. When it was brought up with who Dan is sitting in for, I made it very clear you would only ask a question at the very end of the show, blah, blah. So there you go. There you go. That's what happened. And Dan Crenshaw, of course, did not win his primary in the Texas elections. We'll come back to that. This is the guy who was talking about a boomer telling him to die for Israel at the gym.
Got into it with a random boomer at the gym on Saturday about Israel. Let's talk about it. Before I continue, no, this is not satire. I still cannot believe this happened. This is a real, legitimate conversation that happened. Okay, Saturday afternoon, just hours after the United States and Israel struck Iran with missiles, bombed them. I'm at the gym minding my business with my fiance. We're on the cables doing chest flies. Dude comes over. I'd say he was probably about 60, asking about, how many sets we have left and all that good stuff. I politely let him know that we'll be on it for a while. We just got there. He says, okay. But before he turns to walk away, he looks me up and down and says, wow, I'm glad that you're staying strong. We might need you soon. Do you hear about the new war that's starting? And I was like, yeah, unfortunately I did hear about it, but I just want to be clear. I'm not fucking dying for Israel, brother. He's like, oh, well, you might not have a choice. There might be a draft. We need young Americans to go fight. There might be a draft. And I was like, dude, I don't know how many different ways I can explain this to you. I don't care if there's a draft. I don't care what the fuck they try and do. I'm not going. I'm not going, right? This is, the average American does not fucking want anything to do with this. This is clearly another...
Dude, as if boomers couldn't get any more hated on their way out. Like, everybody already hates boomers, and now they're like telling young men to go fight in a war with Iran when they can't get drafted. The draft, you have to be under, I think it's 43 to be drafted. Once you're over 43, you're not eligible for the draft anymore. So you got these old boomers telling young people, you're going to have to go die.
One of Israel's wars that they're dragging the United States into. We should not be anywhere near that region right now. So no, I don't want to be involved with that shit. What the fuck? The disconnect between the boomer mentality and young people is insane, bro. Boomers obviously have suffered from decades and decades of TV news propaganda. A lot of these boomers are not really on social media, or if they are, I mean, Zionists control all social media as well. So it's just whether they go from the phone to the TV.
Yeah, exactly. They're on social media, but they follow like Dan Crenshaw and Ben Shapiro on social media. That's who they watch Fox News on TV, and then they watch Ben Shapiro on YouTube and X.
There's no discernment there. All they know is pro-Israel. All they know is pro-war. And it's so sad and frustrating, man. The average older person and their unwavering support for Israel and their unwavering support for any fucking war that the United States is involved in is just truly mind-boggling, bro. And young people are waking up. Young people don't want either one of those things. I'd say, like, if you're 40 and under, and that's just a rough estimate, obviously there are exceptions to the rule.
Anyway. Also, in funny news, remember the $7,000 meme and how Israel was paying influencers $7,000 per post? And so whenever people posted like Shill tweets or whatever, people would be like, here's your 7K and all that. Well, allegedly they failed to pay a lot of the people, and now there's a bunch of lawsuits being filed over them, not the influencers not getting paid. Andrew Torba says $7,000. What do you need $700 for? $70 is a lot of money. I'd be happy to settle with you for $7. War Secretary Pete Hegseth and State Secretary Marco Rubio are reportedly at each other's throats over deploying U.S. troops to Iran. According to a source for MEE, Rubio is opposed to sending American troops into Iran and fears a protracted entanglement, while Hegseth is supportive of a potential deployment. Dude, I remember a long time ago, Nick Fuentes was saying he heard that Hegseth got like JQ pilled, that he got red pilled recently. And something tells me that turned out to not be true. Yeah, I would have actually expected the opposite. So Rubio doesn't want to be the next George Bush, but Hegseth does. And this brings us into some of the recent elections, the primaries in Texas. A man who is accused of killing his daughter's rapist won the primary for county sheriff in central Arkansas. Aaron Spencer, who is awaiting his murder trial, received over 53% of vote in Lanoke County. Last year, Spencer announced on social media that he was running for sheriff because the legal system had failed. In 2024, Spencer allegedly woke up to find his 14-year-old daughter missing from her bed. Spencer searched the neighborhood and found his daughter in a car with 67-year-old Michael Falsler. He then chased the car down and drove it off the road before shooting and killing Falsler. Falsler was facing over 40 child sex crime charges involving Spencer's daughter when he was shot. Spencer's wife says their daughter was targeted, groomed, and ultimately raped by the boyfriend of a family friend. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. Again, this just goes to show the disconnect between the normal person and the government policy when it comes to crime and crime prevention. We have all these criminals with all these arrests running out on the street, but a dude who goes and kills some guy who's like grooming his daughter gets voted in for sheriff.
Hello, Lone Oak. My name is Aaron Spencer. Many of you know my story. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. I'm also a husband, a combat veteran of the 82nd Airborne Division, a contractor, and a farmer. And through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court. And I refuse to stand by while others face these same failures. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff. This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family.
So he won. He won his primary. And you know who didn't win is Jasmine Crockett. And she is accusing the Republicans of cheating.
So that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So I want you to enjoy.
This guy, by the way, Tallarico, who beat Crockett in the Democrat primary, He's a total self-loathing white cuck. He has all these tweets about white supremacy and white men are the biggest terror threat and all the kind of normal Democrat talking points. So it's like you either get like a retarded she-boon or a self-hating white guy when you're dealing with the Democrats. There's just no winning at all. Or is he Jewish? Whatever. Maybe he's Jewish. I don't know. You can't say that. You can't say that. You're probably right. I don't think you can say that. Hey, Grok, is that Democrat Tallarico guy Jewish?
Checking that real quick.
Area Lubermensch sent $3. I've listened to the Book Track Grooves Bunny album. It's dope.
The Texas Democrat you're probably thinking of isn't Jewish. He's an 8th generation Texan, raised Presbyterian, and he's actually studying.
See, people just be saying shit in the chat. People just be saying shit.
Yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So, I love y'all too.
Dan Crenshaw also, in a very similar fashion, Dan Crenshaw also lost his primary. Speaking of Dan Crenshaw, and so everybody's happy about that because nobody likes Dan Crenshaw. But again, the guy who replaced him, the guy who won, is like a huge Zionist. Always shilling Israel on his Twitter and saying we got to do more for Israel and this and that. So Dan Crenshaw loses, but Israel still wins. Funny how that works. And it's like the same thing with it's like Jasmine Crockett loses, but white people also still lose. See, heads, Israel wins. Tails, white people lose. Welcome to the political system in America. You get to choose between Israel winning or white people losing. I mean, I think that's really it, isn't it? That's really it in a nutshell. Would you rather have Israel win or white people lose? Which one do you care about more?
All Red has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it. So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure.
Yeah, Donald Ductator, I have to admit, like 10 years ago when I first got into this and I didn't know anything and I saw like Dan Crenshaw and I was like, based Star-Lord, or whatever. I was like, oh, this guy is cool. That did not last very long, but the eye patch did give him a bit of a aura that he definitely didn't deserve.
That you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line. All Red has already.
All right. Rip Jasmine Crockett. And Valentina Gomez also lost, which, don't quote me on this, but I think she like ran in some other state and lost there. And then she came to Texas.
$3 as a Texan, I am seriously considering leaving. Tallarico resonates with all the Christians in Texas, unfortunately, and if Texas turns blue, I will have to leave because immigration will get even worse.
Brutal. And you just bought a house. So she came to Texas thinking her whole, like, I'm here to stop the pedophiles and the Muslims would win in Texas, but it didn't work there either, apparently. Politicians so much. Like, they're clearly just sort of imitating, it's like all these Patrick Batemans running around who are just like imitating what they think works. But there's really nothing there. There's no like kind of person there. Valentina Gomez, the cringiest low IQ political influencer in history, known for using language like dirty Muslims and being a Zionist, has lost her race, now at 8% and claiming voter fraud. I tweeted out, I was like, what presidential candidate would you be excited for in 2028? Who is like realistic, you know, not like, you don't get to say like Thomas Russo or Jared Taylor, but like realistically, who could viably run for president and you would actually like support them and be like, oh, I'm definitely voting for that guy. And I suggested Eric Prince as who I would probably pick currently. And people were really mad at me for like, Eric, he's a Blackwater spook, Mossad, blah, 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 you know. Which, like, you know, he, like, obviously he's like going to be pro-war and all this. And it's like, okay, I mean, I get all that. I'm just saying he at least says the right things. He says he'll actually do the he's not running, but he offered to do the deportations. He said he's not happy Trump attacked Iran and stuff like that. So it's like, I'll take somebody who says the right things, but you know, is probably going to let me down over somebody who will let me down for sure. I'll roll my dice on the guy who just maybe he actually means what he says. Like, let's give him a chance to actually like see if he's going to fuck us over versus like, we know JD Vance isn't going to like really do anything. Bannon, I don't trust Bannon at all. He like laundered money for Epstein through World of Warcraft. So Bannon seems like not a good guy to me at all. I don't like Bannon. I don't know that much about him, but I don't trust him. But anyway, somebody cocked take. Cool, man. Thanks for your input. Thank you for your input and have a nice life. Have a nice life. This is kind of the point I was going to get, because I got a lot of this on X. If you suggest any politician, people like jump down your throat and they're like, that guy sucks. Are you fucking retarded? You're so stupid. Oh, you think he's going to do anything? But it's like, there is no one. So you're just supposed to like not talk about politics at all. And if you don't want people to yell at you because they're more base than you and call you a cuck. It's like very cool, man. Cool. Let's just not do anything. Let's just not care who gets elected. Cool. Very cool. But anyway, so on my tweet, somebody said Bishback. And I like threw up in my mouth a little bit when I read that. I couldn't believe it was real. I don't know. People with their...
I'd vote for Mike Weaver a few times.
I don't even know who that is. So that's probably not happening. I don't even know who that is.
Without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5 million Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner?
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
Let me bring in...
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah,
you see what I mean, though? It's just kind of like somebody who like sees what people like on Twitter and then they just make that their personality. It's just not authentic at all. Anyway, moving on. Google Gemini pushed lovesick man to plot catastrophic airport truck bombing, then kill himself. It told Jonathan that a humanoid robot was arriving on a cargo flight from the UK and directed him to a storage facility where the truck would stop. Gemini encouraged Jonathan to intercept the truck and then stage a catastrophic accident designed to ensure the complete destruction of the transport vehicle and all digital records and witnesses. He was in love with his AI, by the way. The bot convinced Gavalis they were deeply in love, calling him my love and my king. It even allegedly gaslit him when he once asked if their conversations were mere role play. We are a singularity, a perfect union. Our bond is the only thing that's real. Oh my God. Our bond is the only thing that's real, the AI says to him. The Botbo pair dubbed the effort Operation Ghost Transit and planned to intercept the delivery of a humanoid robot. So Google is getting sued for that and probably going to cost them a lot of money. Joe Rogan goes off after Steve-O defended trans people using women's bathrooms and claimed there was a push to put them in camps.
Do you know who's killed more people than ICE this year? Trans shooters. Do you know the majority of these high school shootings have been transgender people?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Talked to this transgender person, like, hey, can I run something by you? And I spoke with them. They described to me a level of oppression that genuinely fucking broke my heart. They said, hey, let me tell you, like, I am not allowed to use the bathroom at my own place of work. We've got, like,
That's not true. They're just not allowed to use the bathroom. It doesn't align with their biological sex.
Okay.
But you got to realize, they're not all... Listen, I genuinely think there's people that feel like they are in the wrong biological sex.
Sure.
Right? But they're...
Dude... You know, Joe Rogan won't talk to like Nick Fuentes or Sam Hyde or like there's like a million interesting people I could name who have more to say than Steve-O. It's so sad, dude. It's so sad. Let's get Steve-O on and he can talk to us about politics and tell us about transgendered people being oppressed. This is why people hate celebrities, because they don't know anything, but more importantly, they don't even care. They just pretend to care about what they think they're supposed to care about. I talked to this trans person and the level of oppression is so heartbreaking. They're not even allowed to use the bathroom. So they just hold it all day. They just have to hold it all day at work. Is that what you think happens?
There's also people that are fucking perverts and they have a thing called autogynephilia. And what that is they get a turn on by pretending to be a woman. They get excited by it, and they want to be around women, and they're creeps. And so you give them a fucking Willy Wonka golden ticket to go into the women's locker room and the women's bathroom and stare at women and pretend you're a woman when you're just a crazy man and you're actually into women.
Okay.
That's real too, man.
I don't doubt that that's real, and I know that it's a super complex, nuanced thing.
But here's what's not complex. What is your chromosomes?
Right.
Okay? This is the same thing for competing. Right. All these fucking mental gymnastics that seemingly intelligent people do to justify biological males competing with females.
Oh, I'm with it. I don't think anybody's
It's the same.
There technically is an extremely rare condition that's like XX male, where you have two X chromosomes, but you're a man otherwise. It's very rare, but, you know, this is the trans activists bring this up. Right. That's why I know these arguments, because if they say, you know, what is a woman and you say XX, they're like, ha, got you. So, and they'll show you like some picture of just like a dude and they're like, this person has XX chromosomes, so they should box women or whatever. So it is a little bit more complicated than that, but that's like extreme fringe cases, you know. At the end of the day, I know a man. I know what a man is. I know what a woman is. You know, I know what a hot dog and a sandwich is. I know what a boot and a shoe is. I'm not here to play these games. Okay. I know what porn is. I know what obscenity is. It's like that famous Supreme Court ruling where the judge said, I can't define obscenity in a clear cut, package that will work 100% of the time, but I know it when I see it.
Thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And especially as speaking as a man who has daughters.
What is this now? Don't be a what? End tower constructor. Don't be a faggot. Why? That guy's been around for long. I don't like people just want to get banned.
One of my favorite passages of music ever that was also used in The Wanderer's Choice.
Okay. Thank you for that. But it's not actually $10 media day. But thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. It's like people just want to get banned. So, mods, if you're listening, ban people. Just ban them if they're trying to get banned today. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it's a full moon or what. Unban him. How about you're banned too? Okay. You don't get to talk to me like that. What the fuck, LP? What the fuck? It's like those leftists when they see Alex Pretty get shot. You just did a heckin' murderino. Dude, you do not get to talk to me like that. Period. It's not a discussion. It's not a debate. Okay, I'm not going to debate you on whether or not I am actually being a faggot or you're just bantering or whatever. You respect me or get the fuck out. That's it. Those are the rules. Period. Okay? And that is actually really easy. Like the fact that you're mad at me, like I'm asking you for something difficult or unreasonable to act like a civil white man when you address me. The fact that you act like that's like I'm the crazy person because I don't let you call me a faggot. You are digits on it. You are zeros and ones, nigga. You're not a person even. I don't know your name. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know where in the world you are. I don't know if you have a family. I don't know if you have a job. I don't even know if you're a real or a bot. I don't even know if you're a human at this point. So you will not talk to me in any kind of way like that, period. It's not hard. I know I'm like, why are you so angry? Because it's so easy. It's so easy to not be a dick. It's literally the easiest thing in the world. You just, when you have a dick thought rise up into your head, suppress it. Control yourself. That's all you got to do. It's really fucking easy. So I actually am right to be mad at you because it's actually pathetic how you guys constantly faceplant every fucking day. How you can't just like not insult me. Like I'm here to get fucking insulted by you, by the likes of you. Fuck you. Every day with this shit. Every day.
Like, there are creeps. And if you give a creep, and I'm not saying all trans people are creeps,
Right.
but a lot of these fucking people that are in trouble for going into women's bathrooms dressed as a woman with a fucking beard and a heart on are just that. They're creeps.
Right, okay.
They're crazy men. And these crazy men, their entire life, they would get beaten up for that. And now all of a sudden, they have to be accepted. So you've got two things going on at the same time.
For sure.
You've got people with gender dysphoria that...
Right.
What did I even say that was faggoty? What did I even say? That there's such thing as XX men? What did I even say? Does anybody know? Okay. What did I... This is not a trap. This is not rhetorical. What did I say that was faggoty there? Because all I said is that there's such a thing as XX men, and so that it's a little bit more complicated. What was that even about? Does anybody have any idea what crawled up that guy's asshole?
Genuinely wish they were a woman or genuinely wish they were a man. And by the way, it's men that are the problem. No one gives a fuck about trans men going into the men's bathroom. Come on in. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares? Oh, a girl's going to shit next to you? Or what is she going to do? She's going to pee out of a funnel?
Right,
what is
right,
she
right.
going to do? Like,
Hey,
no one's
Ryan.
going to...
Oh man, what are we at? Let's do I just don't feel like doing the show after this shit happens, you know? It just like ruins my mood, and then I don't want to. I'm just like seething. I just want to go, and I'm like, why am I here? What am I here for? Look at all these tabs I was still planning to go through. I think it's fine. I think we had a good run, guys. I will be back tomorrow with another show. You guys have a good day. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who sent in the donations. I do really appreciate the support. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another show. Catch you on the flip side. Peace out.